What is up, guys? Sente here, and after a bit of a break, I've been pretty busy. Um, Company was over and stuff, bit of a 2 week break. I'm back, and I have a really, I think, um, pretty interesting video for you guys. Just off the get go, there's not going to be a ton of Go strategy in this in terms of new moves or sort of a Joseki's or sequences, but I will be going through a few of my games that I think we can learn a lot from, because I have recently been on a pretty lousy losing streak. I feel like my game is very not stable. I don't feel like I'm reading as much as I should be. I don't feel like my reading is accurate as it was when I wasn't on this losing streak. And so whenever you're on one, you sort of reevaluate. You have to, reevaluate your entire approach to the game. And there are a ton of factors that contributed to this. And I think there are a lot of great lessons that we can learn from this. And so my hope is that this video will help you not only deal with losing or deal with when your game isn't 100%, but how to deal with unexpected moves. I'm going to share it, put it in a video for you guys, and here it is. So let's get started. Okay, so a bit of exposition, because I think psychology is a big part in both losing streaks and dealing with unexpected moves. Style is a very, very important part of Go, and learning to play against different styles is a very, very important part of Go. The way that people play, especially at the amateur level, at any level really, there are so many possibilities, and that's what makes this game so cool. But it can be hard, especially because there's so many ways to do the same thing, to figure out how to deal with unexpected moves. So let's get started. I decided to make a new OGS account because my first one, the name was way too long. It was like Galuchinator_Insente. It felt like a good idea at the time, but it was just too long. And you can't change your username without making a new account. So I'm making a new account. Losing streak just hit. As soon as this account got started, the games were really, I did not feel good playing them. And there was a lot going on under the surface, under my thought process, that I only could see from reviewing the game. So let's take some of the first few lessons. Okay, here's the first example. So, as you can see, I was black in this game. And so the first thing I want to try to get across when dealing with unexpected moves is a lot of times the unexpected move we immediately think is a bad move. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe this is just me. Could be. But whenever I see an unexpected move, I maybe 1% of the time do I think, wow, that's a really good move. Most of the time, if I see an unexpected move, I think, why would you play there? Because I already have my own idea about what should be going on. And in my brain, I have the best sequence that I can think of. So when somebody plays something different, my first instinct is to go, that's not as good as what I was thinking. When it goes, that's not as good as what I was thinking, that's when things start to get bad, because you are responding in a way that is looking for compensation, that's looking for an advantage, that's looking for punishment of a move that you didn't foresee. Maybe it wasn't the best move. Maybe you could be right. But a lot of times that first instinct, that internal kidbitzer in our brains, sets us up for failure, because we say, that's not a good move, and either you get too relaxed and you don't read the correct sequence, or you mess up in reading because you get a little annoyed that why would they play that? So regardless of whether it's bad or good, you need to have constant vigilance when you're playing this game. One wrong move and an advantage can disappear. And that's what I see. So I set up a small mini Chinese framework, and my opponent invades immediately. In my brain, I'm thinking, not a good move. It's textbook. I have learned over and over, Don players have told me, if you do not invade formation. A small Chinese, a regular Chinese don't invade it because you're jumping into a pincer. The stone is going to be here to mess up white's day, and black will be able to profit from it. So I'm thinking to myself, great, that's awesome. I'll be able to push it over, get a little bit of profit, solid profit on the right side, defend my shape, and everything is fine, right? Now he goes and plays here. There's a lot of weaknesses in this. I could feel that there was in this game. I couldn't read exactly how to take advantage of it yet, but I knew there was. So I was like, I can't figure this out yet. Let me just wait until something else arises. Maybe I'll figure it out. But he decides to jump into the next bit of territory that I'm making. And styles like this, where if they see you starting to develop even the tiniest amount of points, they immediately throw a stone in and take it away, can be very frustrating to deal with because it feels like it's disrupting the flow of the game. My idea of the flow of the game would be to approach maybe from this side. I back off, white would develop its own framework on the right side, maybe white would think about reducing later. That's how I would approach things. And so I immediately think of this move as a bad move, and I start to get annoyed. And that is when your game starts to crumble, because when you get annoyed, you start getting over aggressive. I decided to play from here. I probably should have played here. And then if he tried to make a 2-space, I could hit it, and then come on out, and then attack. But I played from there instead, because I was a little greedy for territory. He double approaches. So he's making the game really complicated right now. Completely unexpected. And this is more of a what not to do video, because I am in the middle of doing everything wrong in terms of dealing with unexpected moves. So eventually something is going to crumble in this game, and you'll see when it starts to happen. So I simply extend. I'm attacking and then closing at the same time. That's pretty good. He stops me from connecting. I try to keep him disconnected. Slide in the corner. And he goes out. Now I try to do a leaning attack. I'm like, okay, I want to attack these stones, right? I'm staying calm right now. My game, I think, so far has been fairly calm. I haven't overextended too much yet. Making a nice leaning attack. Get some stones in this area. Now I come over and cap this. Now, to be fair, this is the first part of the game that I started overextending. And you can feel it, right? You can feel like, oh, like I'm playing, I'm playing calm. I'm simply taking my profit. I'm minding my weak group right there. I'm solidifying myself here. I'm making an enclosure. Great. I'm good shape. I'm extending out. Cool leaning attack. Great. And this is where things didn't go right, because I started to get impatient. I started to get over aggressive. So white could take advantage of this right away by just doing this. Right. Then we have this Atari, and then here. Easy to just poke through and just make an eye and just ruin black's chance of attacking that. White decided to not play that, though. Decided to attach on this stone. So now I'm trying to make a splitting attack. Attack this and this at the same time. He makes an eye. This move would have probably been a little bit stronger. Now we can't make an eye here. So now the misreads are starting, because you could feel the impatience. I can, because I know how I could feel the impatience and the aggravation start. Because I'm like, oh my god, I got an eye already. Like, something's supposed to die here. Shouldn't something die? He keeps jumping into my area. Shouldn't something die, right? I'm feeling entitled to this advantage from someone playing moves that I wouldn't normally play. So now I start going crazy, and I'm like, I'm going to kill this now. All right, you've left me no choice. Not going to take any big points on the other side of the board. No siree. Definitely not. Because, like, let's look at the points right now. This is worth nothing, right? We can check out... This might, if he invades... Let's be like 9. I don't know if this invasion's going to happen yet. This is a good 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a good 15, right? This was 7. So I've got like definitely over 20 solid points. He has an enclosure, 10 points here. Probably about even. If I took a big point on the side of the board, the game might still be able to be in balance, but I decided to not and just go all out and attack. Completely overextending and not reading, because we can see that there is really no way for these liberties to be enough. Black, there is nothing black can do. If he tries to make this I, oops, if he tries to make this I, white can just ascend. Then it's like 3 liberties. Black doesn't have enough to capture. So black's position is completely ruined. And I just got so frustrated at resigning. So we can see that I had a pretty good position. This was good for me. I made a lot of points. And then he decided to be very aggressive and try to take that area away as well. Made a little bit of a misplay. This is the less valuable, because like this is already very strong. So I should probably have pushed here. Solidified these points. Maybe come out, because I'm still kind of threatening a lot of things in this area. Then maybe get an enclosure. And now black's position is very good. But I decided to go for the easy cash, like the quick cash, right? And you could see me start to overextend right here. This is just bad shape. It's not going to work. My reading starts to break down. I don't do this. And to top it all off, when he does live here, I go insane and start just trying to capture everything, and then everything backfires. So this is what you don't want to do when someone plays unexpected moves. You don't want to, A, think it's automatically bad, and B, try to immediately kill it, or figure out ways to kill it, when ignoring like everything else in parts of the board, especially if you're not sure. If you can read out a way to kill it, that's great, more power to you. But clearly, as you can see, I did not read this out, because nothing that I did worked. So reading is really important, and if you don't read a way to kill it, or you don't read out that if I put pressure on this, I can kill it, or I can make good profit, you're playing Desperate Go, and it's not going to help you. So that's the first lesson of dealing with unexpected moves. Certainly do not try to overstep the advantage that you're making. And don't automatically assume that a move is bad because you didn't see it. Everyone's got different styles, and at the amateur level, many more things are viable than the pro level, right? Maybe he just wanted to fight. Maybe that's why he was invading Ever. He excels in a fighting game. He excels at outfighting his opponents. And so he wants to start a fight from the very beginning. And that could be that could be his thing, and that can work. So keep the internal insulter of other people's moves. Let that go, because it won't help. All right, second game. All right, here's the second game I wanted to show you. That gives me the second lesson of dealing with unexpected moves. So I am white in this game, and we see him starting the avalanche type thing. Now, just so you know, the normal way to do it, I looked up this Joseki because I didn't know it at the time, is to play here. If black wants to keep it simple, he will simply do this, and then I think this, and then people can go along their merry way. And the game is fine. I made a tiny mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake, maybe it's just another way of doing it. But I wanted to extend down and keep the corner. He immediately defends, which sets off red flags in my brain saying, Hane at the head of 2 stones, right? That's like the proverb that we always talk about. So I immediately do it. And he cuts. This is a mistake. This is definitely a mistake, because I could read out that it was a mistake. And I read that, like, what? You can't really do anything, right? Now it's like threatening, like dumpling over here. So there's really no way to capture this. we could think that if black maybe went not there, maybe here, could get us in a dumpling shape. But how are you going to capture this group right now? This won't work. Now white will just win the capturing race. And then if black decides to hit it on the head, that's an Atari. Like, there's no way you can keep this, right? So that is not going to work. And I got a little excited. So first I'm like, okay, first I'll threaten, if he doesn't do anything, I will play here, threaten a crosscut, like take down his shape. What I should have done, was simply just take it. Just take the points. This wall is not going to be worth anything. This wall will be worth almost nothing. Because, white can play here. Black needs so many moves to turn this into actual solid territory, and I already got 20 points here. 15 to 20. That this was great for me. I just should play a big point after that. But I decided to get greedy because I saw an unexpected move. And this time I wasn't wrong. See, before I thought, oh, unexpected move, this should be bad. I should be able to punish it, and I wasn't able to. This I could read out exactly how to punish. But I didn't because I got greedy. So the emotions started getting in there. And so instead of that, I decided to try to go for everything. And now he descends and all of my dreams are gone because he can't really capture these stones now. I just have to defend my shape and black escapes. And then he attacks this group and then he makes profit over here and then I just end up resigning because I resign much later after this. I don't resign because of this sequence, but the game did not turn out super well. So that's the second lesson, is if you can read out that you can get an advantage, and that's the best advantage you can see happening for sure right now. Don't push for everything. Don't try to get it all. Go is a long game. It takes a lot of stones, and this small advantage is more than enough right now. More than enough. So that's the second tip. Don't try to get more than you're reading out that you should be able to get, especially if you don't read out that it works for sure. So just to wrap up, you might notice that I mentioned reading a lot because that's really what it comes down to. When you start seeing unexpected moves, it's all about reading. That's the only thing you can rely on, because if it's unexpected, that means you haven't studied it yet. And I think all of the Go resources and all of the Go books and all of the things that we work at to study are a great help, but it can sometimes make us weaker Go players because we spend so much time studying these sequences that when something happens that we haven't seen before, we haven't studied reading enough, we haven't practiced reading enough, we've just been learning sequences, and so when our reading gets tested because something is unexpected, we don't know what to do and we crumble. I think a lot of that is also augmented by the fact that there's so many amazing streamers out there. Dwyron, Haley, Nick Sabicki, Zoo98, all these amazing Dons that have had years of experience that, they say, oh, like, this isn't good. And they just know. Because it's not. Because they've had, like, literally years of experience playing this game. And so it's sort of, if you watch a lot of those, it might give you a false sense of security thinking you know it all. Or if something is unexpected, you know that it's bad and you're going to punish it right away. But a lot of times we don't know quite how because we're not focusing on our reading enough. So definitely just an alert. If you guys are struggling with unexpected moves, practice your reading, work on the fundamentals. Don't try to kill everything. Don't get annoyed. And don't immediately think that an unexpected move is bad just because you haven't seen it. A lot of times for amateur games, tons of stuff people can get away with. We're not pros, right? We're doing this for fun. We all have our own lives. We're just trying to enjoy this game. So you've got to keep that perspective. Don't think that just because it's unexpected, it's bad. And work on your reading. Don't spend all your time just studying from books and not playing games and not reading, because if you do that, when this thing sort of stuff happens, when something doesn't happen that's in a book, you won't know what to do. So I learned a lot from all of these losses, and I think I'm ready to start polishing up my game, pick myself back up, and get even stronger. So hope this helped you, and definitely let me know if this has ever happened to you, what sort of things you struggle on when unexpected moves are being played. And if you're on OGS, yes, my new account is _Sente. Shoot me a friend request, shoot me a game review, whatever. I'm here to help. So definitely let me know, and I'll see you guys on the grid.